And good evening, everybody, and welcome to Harbour Station for tonight's Sea Dogs game against the Cape Breton Screaming Eagles. My name is Tim Roszell, and this is the Tim Roszell Show. We are live behind Section F on the concourse level of Harbour Station. My guest on the Tim Roszell Show tonight is St. John Sea Dogs General Manager Darrell Young. Darrell, thanks for stopping by.
No problem, Tim.
Tell us, as we hit the quarter pole of the regular season here, give me your thoughts on the first 16 games.
No, it's been pretty exciting to see the development of the young players and the leadership that our older players have shown, guys like Justice and guys like Tremaine and guys like Peyton who have come in and really led the team from day one and then brought all the 25 players together. That's been probably the most exciting thing. Through
16 games, you think you had 10 wins?
I thought we had 12 or 13. No, it's been good. No, it's game by game, and we knew we were going to be competitive from day one. We watched training camp. There was no bad players at training camp. Everybody could play. We knew from there that there were some good things we could achieve. Whether I predict 10 wins in 16 games, no. I couldn't tell you exactly where we're going to be, but it's pretty exciting to watch the kids on a daily basis.
Quite often, good teams are built from the back end out. You've got one of the best, if not the best, 20-year-old goaltenders in this league in Sébastien Auger.
No question. You know, we got the youngest team in the league and youngest team in the country with 10 17-year-olds and 3 16-year-olds. So they're going to make a lot of mistakes. And our defense is so young. Most nights we're playing 3 17s and a 16 in the back end and an 18 and a 19-year-old usually. So we're going to make mistakes, and knowing that we have Roszell back there to cover up any errors that they make is good, easy for the coaches to feel confident that they can win. It's easy for the players to know that they can play their game, make mistakes, and that Auger will be there to back them up.
You mentioned the defense, and I want you to expand on that just a little bit more, because I know the defense has been very, very impressive for you early in this young season.
Well, we look at our defense and compared to the rest of the defense in the league, we're the highest scoring defense in the league. We're the youngest defense in the league. We have the best plus-minus of any team in the league for defense. We're taking the most shots by any defense corps in the league. We're the most penalized defense corps in the league, and yet we're still the youngest in the country. So that bodes well for the future. We're pretty excited that usually you notice if we get 3 to 5 points a game from our defense, we're going to win. The games we don't win or have not great success in our games where our defense have no points.
With St. John Sea Dogs General Manager Darrell Young. Darrell, let's talk about the forwards now. It has been a little bit of a process to really narrow down who would be best playing with whom, but it seems like the lines are at least a little bit settled now. Tell us about the top line at the moment: Nathan Knoll, Adam Marsh, Spencer Smallman.
Well, you know, they've got some chemistry. Smallman likes to do all the dirty work. Nathan's real creative, and Marsh is a scorer. So you got a good complement of players there. They all have speed. They all have skill. They all like to compete. They all have very good hockey IQ.
You made a key acquisition early in the season when you brought in Justice Dundas as an Ontario League free agent. He really seemed to add something to this team, didn't he?
Well, I think we needed was we needed a little more size up front, we needed more physicality up front, that we needed a little more abrasives up front. We got a lot of young guys that are not as aggressive physically as we'd like them to be. They're aggressive with their speed, but the physicality part of it is something we had to address.
Going back to Marsh for a moment, another free agent signee, Chicago, Illinois native. He's been very, very impressive in the early going, not only because of his numbers, but because of when he's putting up those numbers. He's scoring key goals at key times.
Well, no question. As he gains more experience in our league, he'll become that much more confident. And he's a player that we believe at 19 is going to be one of the more dominant offensive players in the league.
Talk about the returnees to this team up front, because you only had a few, of course, but it seems like several of them have taken their games to a new level. Guys like Doug McFalls and Matthew Joseph, and of course Nathan Knoll.
Well, no question. You watch Doug McFalls, and I think even from day one, he's gotten better and better and better. Now he's starting to contribute a little more offensively. He's a very good shutdown player. You know, this is one of the face-offs. He's out there with Tremaine on key face-offs in our zone. In terms of Joseph, you're seeing Joseph been a little snake bit, and offensively he's had 10 breakaways, and I don't think he's that much success for it. He will be rewarded if he needs more confidence. Guys like Noel, he came in bigger, stronger. and we have some chemistry with Smallman and Marsh. He'll be in the next couple of months.
I'm going to put you on the spot just a little bit here. It's Darrell,
how resilient they are. You know, we were down 3-0 in Halifax, came back 1-6-5. You look at even the Cape Breton game where we were up, we're down the last couple of minutes, and we came back, scored 2 goals late. But the ability to bounce back, you know, the fact that they believe that they can win each game. You know, the other side is that, you know, we were beaten pretty handily by Moncton, and we came back next night and we dominated the game to win 7-1. And then Bay Camo comes in here, a real physical team, and our kids didn't back down. They played hard, and they stood up for themselves. So I think those type of things, the resiliency of our team, the makeup of our team is very impressive.
What do you see that the team may need to work on?
Power play. You know, it's funny, we're one of the most highest scoring teams in the league, but one of the highest scoring defense scorers in the league, and we got our power plays at the bottom. So it takes time with a young team to develop that power play, but once they get the systems down and start connecting, we'll be in a better hockey club for it.
We'll wrap up with this, Darrell. It's a key time in the schedule, of course. You're heading into the second quarter of the schedule between now and the holiday break that begins on the 18th of December. But what do you see as key moments, or how do you see the next stretch? What kinds of things are you looking for from this team in order to continue the pace that they've started with here in the first half of the year?
Well, I think first of all, we can't focus on the month of November. We can only focus on one day at a time, one game at a time. I know we got a tough stretch coming up, but if you keep talking about the tough stretch coming up, it becomes that much more tougher. So we focus on one day at a time, one game at a time, like the players have one shift at a time. So we keep that in focus, we'll be okay. But once we start getting ahead of ourselves, then we're in trouble. The fact is the players, it's a tough road trip. They can't look at 3 games in 3 days. They got to look at Friday, then take care of Friday, then play Saturday, take care of that. So it's one game at a time for our players.
Darrell, thank you so much for stopping by. We appreciate it. Enjoy the game tonight.
Thanks, Tim. Appreciate it.
And that is St. John Sea Dogs General Manager Darrell Young on the Tim Roszell Show. The Tim Roszell Show is brought to you by Lounsbury Furniture.